Hello, welcome to the course of Distributed Antenna System. So today we are going to discuss about a DAS with MIMO technology. So here in this chapter we are going to discuss about first of all we'll discuss about what is MIMO, then we will discuss about the MIMO technology types, then the DAS MIMO technology types, then we will discuss about its challenges and the solution. So let's discuss about the very first, that is what is MIMO technology. So here the MIMO stands for multiple input and multiple output. So input refer to the number of transmitter and output refer to the number of receiver. So here MIMO is economically used in many small form factor devices such as the handset and the data cards. So the WiMAX and LTE network use 2x2 MIMO, 4x4 MIMO, 8x8 MIMO and the higher configuration. So 2x2 MIMO means there are 2 antenna for the transmission and 2 antennas are used for the receiving purposes. So here the MIMO technology working depends upon the very first is a rich scattering environment with many different paths between transmitter and receiver, and second one is a high signal to noise ratio. So here in MIMO the difference is multi-path is created using orthogonal communication channel, high order modulation technique like 16 QAM, 64 QAM, and with a high signal to noise ratio is also required in MIMO. So here for an in-building DAS system is ideal for the MIMO because it provides very good signal to noise ratio, and in-building environment provide a rich scattering environment. So here the type of MIMO technology is like spatial diversity. Here in spatial diversity in which the same data is transmitted over each of the multiple paths, and in spatial multiplexing and this in which each of the path carries different data. So here let's discuss in detail. Like in 2x2 MIMO with spatial diversity means in this each of the two antenna is essentially transmitting and receiving the same data. Although the data is coded differently, this mode is primarily used to improve signal quality or to increase the coverage area. But here in 2x2 MIMO with spatial multiplexing, in this two different stream of data are transmitted over each of the two channels, which theoretically doubles the system throughput. So this is the difference between 2x2 MIMO with spatial diversity and 2x2 MIMO with the spatial multiplexing. Now the type of DAS MIMO technology. So here the DAS MIMO technology type is like first one is co-located 2x2 MIMO DAS. So here it is deployed using two radiating points co-located in the same journal location. So by using the spatial dimension of a communication link, MIMO system can achieve significantly higher data rate. So here this co-located 2x2 MIMO DAS have a higher data rate. The second one type is interleaved MIMO DAS. So here in this the access points are separated by a relatively large distance. So the branch signals from each access points are interleaved across the coverage area, and this provide excellent radio coverage and minimize the power imbalances among the RAUs. So the result of the interleaved MIMO DAS is it provide a lower fading, it provide higher capacity, and it has an increased data rate. So these are the two type of the DAS MIMO technology. So here the challenges that is faced by DAS for implementing MIMO is like for designing a in-building wireless network operating with distributed antenna system in small to mid-sized facilities will cost higher with MIMO capabilities. So the challenge here is with the cost. So because the technology make use of multiple parallel signal, it means every antenna element must be a complete transceiver in its own right. See here, and this upgrading to a co-located MIMO DAS require installation of new antenna elements at each radio access unit location. The cabling infrastructure supporting the RAU will need to be replaced, and there is separation requirement for a single polarization and dual polarization antenna. It means the entire deployment may have to be reconfigured if we want to install a co-located MIMO DAS. So it will increase the cost. So the solution to this is, the solution for implementing DAS with MIMO technology is that the solution is interleaved MIMO, that is iMIMO. So here it separates the access point by a relatively large distance and interleaves their branches signal. So the resulting capacity performance is slightly less than or in some cases equal to that of co-located MIMO. So iMIMO require no additional cabling or equipment. It means it will reduce the cost and there is no upgradation cost required in the interleaved MIMO. So for owner of small to mid-sized DAS network, iMIMO could be a game changer. So it means we can implement a interleaved MIMO for implementing a DAS in a small or mid-sized network. So this is all about the DAS with MIMO technology. Thank you.